Melo. He's a top 10 scorer in NBA history, a pure stroke shooter, an iconic jab step, and godly footwork. He had all of it in his bag. He's a living legend and a future Hall of Famer. But not everyone agrees. A lot of people question his success, calling him the biggest underachiever in NBA history. In this video, we're going to take a look at Melo's path to the NBA, where he came up short, and if he's worthy of being called one of the greats. Carmelo Anthony was born in Brooklyn on May 29, 1984, to Mary and Carmelo. At only 2 years old, Anthony lost his father to liver cancer. After his father died, his family moved to West Baltimore. He was 6'1" by middle school and enjoyed a variety of sports other than basketball. Anthony attended Towson Catholic High School in the Baltimore suburbs. As a freshman, he played both basketball and baseball. Melo was a pitcher and first baseman for the varsity team. While in basketball, he was a point guard, but at that time, there was no indication that he would make a career out of it, as he was too small. He was good, but he wasn't the top player. Anthony got cut from his high school's varsity team in his first year. Then the following summer, everything changed. Anthony experienced a well-timed growth spurt, growing 6 inches and reaching 6'5" tall. His height and wingspan turned him into a force his sophomore year. Anthony emerged as one of the top players in the Maryland Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Catholic League. He averaged 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals as a sophomore. His high school basketball team finished third in the state tournament with a record of 26-3. In his junior year, Melo averaged 23 points and 10.3 rebounds. As a result, he was selected County Player of the Year in Baltimore, All-Metropolitan Player of the Year, and Baltimore Catholic League Player of the Year. During his final year in high school, Anthony was forced to transfer to Oak Hill Academy, but it wasn't for basketball. Listen to Anthony tell Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson the story on All the Smoke.
You know, a lot of people don't know that I got kicked out of Towson Catholic my junior year because I had braids. It was racism, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that I was a part of the racism at that point in time.
After transferring, Melo led Oak Hill Academy to win its first tournament, the Les Schwab Invitational, over Mater Dei High School, with Melo winning tournament MVP. Anthony's dominance was already established, but he had yet to prove himself against the top high school players in the state. Oak Hill Academy would then take on LeBron James' high school team, St. Vincent St. Mary, in a highly anticipated matchup. With more than 11,000 people in attendance, both players lived up to the hype that night. James scored 36 points on 12 of 27 shooting, while also bringing down 8 rebounds and dishing out 5 assists. Anthony finished with 34 points on 14 of 25 shooting and 11 rebounds. In a showdown of 2 top NBA prospects, Anthony's squad prevailed 72-66. After his legendary high school run, Anthony went to Syracuse University in New York, where he played the 2002-2003 season. Coach Jim Boeheim of Syracuse University was one of the college coaches who made efforts to recruit Anthony. It was here where Melo really stood out among those in his age group. Anthony produced 22.2 points and 10 rebounds that season. Syracuse had a successful regular season despite losing to UConn in the Big East tournament semifinals. Anthony was named Big East Rookie of the Year and a member of the All-Big East first team. They earned the number 3 seed in the NCAA tournament's West region, and the stage was set. Anthony then led his team to the Final Four, where they faced the Texas Longhorns and future first-round pick TJ Ford. Melo dropped a career-high 33 points in that Final Four game, a freshman Final Four record. This win led Syracuse to the national championship game, where they faced Kansas.
It's Collison and Warwick to get the championship game underway.
With an 81-78 victory over the University of Kansas in the finals, the Orangemen captured their first NCAA tournament championship. Anthony had 20 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds, a near triple-double performance that earned him the Most Outstanding Player award. This college performance made him one of the most impactful one-and-done players in history, but nothing could prepare us for what he'd do next. Nearly a month after winning the national title, he declared for the 2003 NBA draft. He had talked to Boeheim about staying in college, but his coach knew his talents were ready for the league. The Denver Nuggets selected Anthony as the 3rd overall pick. That draft included LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, and was regarded as one of the best draft classes in NBA history. At 19 years old, Melo was tasked with turning around a franchise that had slumped to a 17-65 record the season before. Anthony wasted no time in making the Nuggets look like geniuses for selecting him. He scored 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists in his NBA debut, then went on to score 18 points and 23 points in his next 2 games. He was showing his raw scoring ability, and it was undeniable. Denver's 5th game was a road trip to Cleveland, which featured one of the most anticipated Rising Stars matchups in NBA history, the showdown between Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James. LeBron had 7 points and 11 rebounds, while Melo had 14 and 6. The game ended with the Nuggets winning by 4 points. 3 nights later, against the Clippers, Anthony posted his first career 30-point game. Melo would go on to score 30 points 9 times that season, including a season-high 39 points against the Blazers. You could already see the improvement of the Nuggets team compared to their last season, as the Nuggets matched their previous season's win total 3 days before Christmas. The league was paying attention. That year, the Conference Rookie of the Month awards went to the same players each month for the first and still only time in NBA history: LeBron James in the East and Carmelo Anthony in the West. There wasn't much separating them. LeBron averaged 20.9 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game that season, and Melo produced 21 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game. The only real distraction? Anthony was able to transform the 17-65 Nuggets to a 43-win playoff team, and LeBron and the Cavaliers came up just short. At the end of the 2003-2004 season, Melo was selected Western Conference Rookie of the Month for all 6 months and was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team. LeBron James, the kid from Akron, was named NBA Rookie of the Year in 2004. There was never any serious debate about whether LeBron James earned Rookie of the Year that season. The real debate was about whether Carmelo Anthony also deserved it just as much as the King did. Feel free to fight that one out in the comments. After that amazing rookie season, Melo ended up teaming up with Bron to represent the United States at the 2004 Olympics. The lack of experience and strong leadership was evident. The 2003 draftees were very young, and the team didn't mesh and wasn't used to playing the international style game. The 2004 USA team would end up bringing home the bronze medal in disgrace. But soon enough, Melo got his gold medals in 2008 with the Redeem team and in 2012 and 2016. As of today, he is the all-time leader in points, rebounds, and games played for the U.S. Olympic basketball team. Melo has played on 14 USA basketball teams, appeared in 85 games, and compiled 1,265 points, 365 rebounds, and 116 assists for the U.S. Carmelo's best individual performance with Team USA was against Australia on October 10, 2016, where he recorded single-game Olympic highs for 3-point field goals made with 9 and 3-point attempts with 15, while also recording the 4th highest scoring total with 31 points. That's why he's called the most successful Olympic athlete in USA men's basketball history. Going back to Carmelo Anthony's NBA career, from 2004 to 2010, he led the Nuggets to the playoffs every year, but all were first-round exits except 2009, where Melo led the Nuggets to the Western Conference Finals. Melo had averaged 24.8 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 3.1 assists in 564 games for the Nuggets in his career. It's clear that it was not always rainbows and butterflies for Carmelo's tenure in the Denver Nuggets, and I'll admit, this definitely supports the argument of Melo underachieving. Aside from the playoff failures, during the 2006-2007 season, he experienced his biggest melodrama in his career when a brawl broke out during a regular season game against the New York Knicks after a hard foul on fellow Denver Nugget player J.R. Smith. The brawl resulted in a total 47-game penalty for the 7 players involved. Anthony, Smith, and Nate Robinson of the New York Knicks were among those who were highly fined. Smith and Robinson were each suspended for 10 games, while Anthony was suspended for 15 games. Melo's suspension is the 6th longest suspension in NBA history. Melo hadn't even become a Knick yet, and he was already making history at MSG, unfortunately on the wrong side of history. In the 2009-2010 season, Anthony, who was about to become a free agent, had made no secret of his interest in joining the Knicks, causing the Nuggets to trade their franchise player to the New York Knicks to prevent losing him for nothing a few months later. But fast forward to 2021, Anthony now claims that wasn't the case, that he never intended to leave Denver, and that a rebuilding team pushed his hand. As a Knick, Carmelo Anthony had a career record of 196 wins and 216 losses. He had his ups and downs. The best season of his Knicks career was the 2012-2013 season. With a strong roster and a game plan centered on the forward's talents, he averaged 28.7 points and finished 3rd in MVP voting. He won the scoring title that year, and the Knicks also won 54 games, their most in 16 years, and finished second in the conference. The Knicks fans loved Melo. He was a scoring machine for the Knicks. His best game with them was in 2014 against the then Bobcats. That game was the definite Carmelo Anthony game. Post-ups, jab-stepping, ISO plays, and catch-and-shoot threes were just raining down on the Bobcats. Melo worked his way to 62 points, a performance he hasn't surpassed. And if he hadn't sat out the final 7 minutes of the game, he definitely could have gone for 70. Despite his tremendous performances and accolades, he led the Knicks to only 3 playoffs, winning only 1 series in the entire time in New York. Summer after the 2016-2017 season, Anthony decided to request a trade from the Knicks to jumpstart his career. Before the season began, his wish came true, and he was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder's management thought Anthony's addition to a Russell Westbrook and Paul George-led offense would lead to a deep playoff run. However, they were wrong. Big time wrong. Melo struggled because of the bad fit, and the Thunder didn't see the success that they envisioned. Carmelo Anthony averaged 16.2 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 1.3 assists in 78 games for the Thunder. Due to the bad fit, Anthony was traded to the Atlanta Hawks in the summer of 2018, but he never played for them because they went for a contract buyout. In the 2018-19 season, Carmelo Anthony was given a chance by the Houston Rockets, but the venture only lasted 10 games until the Rockets traded him to the Bulls. Melo never played a game for the Bulls as he was immediately released by the team. Carmelo just couldn't find a new home. After roughly a year of being rejected by almost everyone, the Portland Trail Blazers decided to take a chance on Melo, and this time he accepted a smaller role as a spot-up shooter. Melo was able to perform nicely for the Blazers in that smaller role during the 2019-20 and the 2020-21 seasons. Despite no longer being the superstar he once was, Melo demonstrated that he still had a place in the NBA as a three-point specialist who can occasionally create for himself. Melo proved that he's still supposed to be in the league. After his time with the Blazers, he joined LeBron James and the Lakers in an attempt to win a championship together. Things didn't work out as they had planned. Surely Melo can score, and he's proven it by being 9th on the all-time scoring list, but it's also evident that his defense has become a bigger liability. Melo is destined for the Hall of Fame, but the legend still remains unsigned this season, leaving questions of retirement. Will he get signed? Who knows? Whether Melo returns or not, he will go down as one of the best scorers of all time.